Everyone thinks Web3 is about money and cryptocurrencies, but that's the lie that keeps people distracted and confused, because Web3 was never really about money at all. It's all about data. Who owns it, who controls it, who stores it, and who gets to decide whether it exists tomorrow. Money just happened to be the easiest way to introduce people to blockchains, but underneath that surface is something far more powerful and far more uncomfortable. Every post you write, every message you send, every file you upload, every identity used on the normal internet creates data, and right now, most of that data doesn't belong to you. It lives on servers you don't control, governed by rules you didn't agree to, and can be removed, censored, or weaponized without your consent. That's the real battlefield of the internet, and right now, giant corporations are winning without most people even putting up a fight. Web3 isn't trying to reinvent payments. It's trying to change what happens to data once it's created. For the first time, data can be published, shared, and stored in a way that doesn't depend on a company or a platform, or any centralized authority deciding whether it's allowed to exist. That's why blockchains matter. They allow information to become persistent, verifiable, and harder to erase. This is also why so much resistance exists in regards to Web3. Control over data is power, and whoever controls the infrastructure controls the narrative, the visibility, and ultimately the behavior of users. According to Shoshana Zuboff's book called Surveillance Capitalism, modern digital payment platforms are built around extracting behavioral data and turning it into prediction and control mechanisms, all while profiteering off that data. It's not at all about user empowerment. That model breaks down the moment users stop surrendering their data by default. Quick pause here. If this perspective feels different from the usual Web3 hype and you want more content that actually challenges how the internet works, take a second to subscribe, because this channel is all about understanding what's really happening with the next wave of the internet. Now, here's where things get real. Once data moves onto a blockchain or a peer-to-peer network, it stops behaving like content on the traditional internet. It's no longer something a company hosts for you. It becomes something you publish. That shift changes absolutely everything. Identity stops being an account you could lose and starts being something you own. Content stops being temporary and starts being permanent. And communication stops flowing through centralized servers and starts happening directly between peers. This is where platforms like Qortal come in, because Qortal treats data as the core primitive, not an afterthought. Through the Qortal data network, users can publish content, messages, and information directly to a peer-to-peer network with tiny, predictable publishing fees, instead of relying on platforms that monetize, throttle, or delete their data. Names on Qortal become on-chain identities where nobody can be censored or cancelled for subjective reasons. And groups become encrypted coordination layers where individuals can build communities without relying on centralized intermediaries. In the end, data isn't something you should rent, but it's something you should definitely control. And that's why this shift feels threatening to the existing internet. Once users understand that Web3 is about data sovereignty, not speculation, it becomes much harder to sell them centralized alternatives pretending to be decentralized. The future of the internet isn't just faster payments or new financial products. It's an internet where your data doesn't disappear when a platform decides it's inconvenient. If you want to experience what that actually looks like instead of just hearing about it, install Qortal today and explore a network built around data ownership from the ground up. I'll see you in the next video.